Right now, as you're watching this, home prices in 25 major American cities are falling. Not dipping, not cooling off, falling. And we're not talking about random small towns in the middle of nowhere. We're talking Miami, Dallas, Denver, Las Vegas, Orlando. One market has dropped over 11% in a single year. 11%. That's tens of thousands of dollars in equity gone. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to break down all 25 of these markets, show you exactly how much they've dropped, and more importantly, I'm going to reveal the hidden pattern that connects almost every single one of them. Because once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. And at the end, I'm going to give you 3 warning signs that your market might be next. Even if your city isn't on this list, it might not matter, because what's coming could spread. Let's get into it. Before we dive into the 25 cities, you need to understand what's happening at the national level, because the national picture is confusing. And that's by design. According to Zillow's latest data, home prices across the country are up about 4% year over year. 4%. Sounds stable, right? Sounds like everything's fine. But that number is a lie. Not because it's wrong, it's technically accurate. It's a lie because it hides what's really going on underneath. Here's the truth. Out of the 300 largest housing markets in America, 99 of them are declining right now. That's 1 in 3. Let that sink in. 1 out of every 3 major markets in this country is losing value. The other 201? Still rising. Some of them rising fast. And the gap between winners and losers is absolutely staggering. Hartford, Connecticut is sitting 21% above its previous peak. Meanwhile, Austin, Texas is 28% below its peak. That's nearly a 50-point spread between 2 American cities in the same economy, under the same interest rates, in the same country. So when someone tells you the housing market is doing fine, or the housing market is crashing, they're both right. And they're both wrong. Because there is no single housing market anymore. There are 2. And which one you're in changes everything. Now let's talk about the cities that are actually falling. And I've organized these into 3 tiers because not all declines are created equal. Some of these markets are in freefall. Some are in a slow, steady bleed. And some are just starting to crack. Tier 3 is the one that should worry you most, by the way. But we'll get there. Let's start with the worst of the worst. Tier 1, the freefall markets. These are cities that have dropped 5% or more in the past year. And leading the pack, and honestly, it's not even close, is Punta Gorda, Florida, down 11.23%. Think about that. If you bought a $500,000 home there last year, you've lost over $56,000. On paper, in 12 months. That's more than most Americans earn in a year. Next up, Cape Coral and Fort Myers, Florida, down 8.57%. Then Northport, Sarasota, and Bradenton, Florida, down 6.89%. See a pattern forming yet? We're 3 cities in, and they're all in the same state. Kahului, Wailuku, and Lahaina, Hawaii comes in at negative 6.11%. Now, Hawaii is a unique case. The Lahaina wildfire devastated that market in ways that go beyond normal economics. But the decline is real regardless of the cause. Austin, Texas, down 5.87%. Austin was the darling of the pandemic boom. Everyone was moving there. Joe Rogan moved there. Tech companies moved there. And prices went absolutely vertical. Now, they're coming back to earth. Hard. Naples and Marco Island, Florida, down 5.3%. And rounding out Tier 1, Houma and Thibodaux, Louisiana, down just over 5%. 7 markets, 5 of them in Florida. Remember that. It matters. Tier 2, the steady decline. These markets are down between 3 and 5%. Not catastrophic yet, but the bleeding hasn't stopped, and there's no sign of a tourniquet. Sebastian and Vero Beach, Florida, down 4.2%. Asheville, North Carolina, down 4.17%. Asheville's interesting because it was one of those trendy relocation destinations during the pandemic. People were posting TikToks about their mountain lifestyle. Now the market's telling a different story. Stockton, California, down 4.09%. Tampa, Florida, down just over 4%. And here's where it gets serious, because Tampa isn't some small coastal retirement town. Tampa is a major American metro. Millions of people live there. When Tampa drops 4%, that's billions of dollars in collective home equity disappearing. Miami, Florida, down 3.88%.
The city that was supposed to be bulletproof. Crypto bros, international money, luxury condos going up everywhere. Down almost 4%. Then we've got London, Kentucky at negative 3.8. Lakeland, Florida at negative 3.68. Dallas, Texas, and pay attention here, down 3.59%. Dallas is one of the biggest housing markets in the entire country. This isn't a small blip. Orlando, Florida, down 3.58%. Port St. Lucie, Florida, down 3.54%. And Daytona Beach, Florida, down 3.39%. 11 markets in Tier 2. And once again, Florida dominates. But now we're also seeing Texas, North Carolina, California, and Kentucky show up. The decline is spreading beyond the usual suspects. Now, Tier 3. And I said this earlier. This is the tier that should make you pay the most attention. Because these are the early warning markets, down between 2 and 3%. Not dramatic enough to make headlines. Not scary enough to cause panic, but absolutely enough to signal that something has shifted. Homosassa Springs, Florida, down 3.17%. Denver, Colorado, down 3.08%. Denver was one of the hottest markets in America for the better part of a decade. It's now on this list. That should tell you something. Palm Bay, Florida, down 2.93%. Ocala, Florida, same, 2.93%. Vallejo, California, down 2.88%. Las Vegas, Nevada, down 2.75%. Vegas, the city that literally crashed and burned in 2008 and then came roaring back. It's slipping again. And finally, Savannah, Georgia, down 2.69%. These 7 markets are standing at a crossroads right now. They could stabilize, they could flatten out and hold, or they could slide right into Tier 2 within the next 6 to 12 months. And if you're in one of these cities, you need to be watching your local data like a hawk. Okay, you've seen all 25 markets, but here's what most people miss. It's not about memorizing cities, it's about understanding why. And the why is almost always the same story. Go back to 2020. The pandemic hits. Millions of Americans can suddenly work from anywhere. So where do they go? The Sun Belt, Florida, Texas, Arizona, Nevada, warm weather, no state income tax, and homes that looked cheap next to New York or San Francisco. They flooded in. Demand exploded. Prices followed. 30, 40, sometimes 50% appreciation in just 2 years. Unprecedented, euphoric, and completely unsustainable. Because builders saw that demand and thought, this is the new normal. So they built. Thousands of new homes across Florida, Texas, the entire Sun Belt, entire subdivisions, construction cranes everywhere. And then the music stopped. Mortgage rates jumped from 3% to over 7%. Millions of buyers got priced out overnight. Remote work migration slowed. Companies started calling people back. Demand cooled, then cooled some more. But here's what people forget about construction. You can't just turn it off. Homes that broke ground in 2021 and 2022 were still being completed in 2023 and 2024. They're still being completed now. A wave of brand new inventory slamming into markets at the exact moment buyers are pulling back. Too much supply, not enough demand. That's not a prediction. That's the textbook definition of falling prices, and it's playing out right now across all 25 markets. Now, this leads to something I call the builder effect, and it's more powerful than most people realize. When a national home builder needs to move inventory, they don't wait. They cut prices, aggressively. Rate buy-downs, free upgrades, premium countertops, finished basements, whatever it takes to get contracts signed. Sounds great for buyers, and it is. But here's the hidden consequence. Every discounted sale becomes a comparable, for the neighborhood. When an appraiser values your existing home, they look at those comps. So picture this. You bought your home 2 years ago for $450. Down the street, a builder just sold a brand new home, nicer finishes, newer everything, for $420. Your home just lost value. Not because anything's wrong with it, because a builder a quarter mile away decided to cut prices. That's the builder effect. And in markets saturated with new construction, it's quietly dragging values down across entire zip codes. So how do you know if your market is next? Even if your city isn't on the list. How can you tell if trouble's coming? 3 warning signs. If you see even 2 of these, pay very close attention. Number 1, inventory above 2019 levels. Before the pandemic, 2019 was a normal, balanced market. If your local inventory has climbed past that benchmark, the market has flipped. Seller's market to buyer's market. More options, more competition among sellers, less urgency from buyers. Pricing power has shifted. Period. Number 2, days on market are climbing. In 2021, homes sold in a weekend. Sometimes before they even listed. If homes near you are now sitting 30, 45, 60 days, that's not a slowdown. That's a fundamental shift. Homes sit longer, sellers get nervous, prices get cut, lowball offers roll in. The cycle feeds on itself. Number 3, a surge in new construction. Drive around your area. New subdivisions going up? Model homes opening? Builder signs on every corner? That supply is coming. And when it arrives, it competes directly with every existing home on the market. The pricing pressure hasn't fully hit yet. But it will. If you're seeing all 3, rising inventory, longer days on market, new construction everywhere, you're looking at the exact conditions that created declines in those 25 cities. Your city might not be on today's list, but it could be on next quarter's. Now, the entire country isn't falling apart. Remember, this is a split market. While 25 cities are dropping, plenty of others are thriving. Hartford, Milwaukee, Cleveland, Buffalo, Chicago. These cities are seeing prices climb, some of them significantly. The reason? The mirror image of everything we just discussed. No pandemic frenzy, no flood of migration, no building boom. Inventory stays tight. New construction is minimal. Not enough homes to meet demand. Low supply, steady demand. Prices go up. The cities that are rising never overbuilt. The cities that are falling did. That's the entire story in one sentence. So what does this mean for you? If you're a seller in a declining market, don't panic, but don't be delusional. The worst thing you can do is overprice and let your home sit. Every week it sits, it loses perceived value. Buyers wonder what's wrong. You chase the market down. Price it at what's actually closing right now, not 6 months ago. Be realistic, be strategic, and if a strong offer comes in, take it seriously. In a declining market, waiting almost never helps. If you're a buyer, congratulations. You have leverage that buyers haven't had in years. Negotiate on price. Ask for closing cost help. Request rate buy-downs. And if there's new construction nearby, that's where the best deals are hiding. Builders will cut deals individual sellers can't match. This is your window. If you're in a rising market, good. But don't get complacent. Markets shift faster than you think. If a strong offer comes in, weigh it carefully. Here's the takeaway. Forget the national housing market. It doesn't exist anymore. What exists is your market, your city, your zip code, your street. Hartford and Tampa are different worlds. Cleveland and Austin are different realities. Real estate is hyper-local now. And the people who stop watching national headlines and start watching local data are the ones who'll make the smartest moves over the next 12 to 24 months. Look up your city. Check inventory trends. Watch days on market. Pay attention to what's being built around you. The data is telling a story. Make sure you're listening. Drop a comment. Tell me which market you're in and what you're seeing. Sometimes the best data doesn't come from Zillow, it comes from you. I'll see you in the next one.